What's good, YouTube? It's Cameron Dundas back from Team Party Starters, and I have my friend Vinny here.
What's up, guys?
Alright, we're gonna get this side deck video started. This might be a few parts, it's probably gonna be pretty long. I mean, there's 81 cards. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so the first card is Confronting the Sea. When your opponent special summons a monster from the extra deck, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you do, this card is unaffected by monster effects that target this card. I mean, this card I think is really good. It has great potential. It hasn't been used much lately, but I see a great potential. And I mean, a side deck is what you preference. And I mean, my side deck's cards that I like and I can use in my deck, and I think it can fit perfectly in certain decks.
It's especially good currently. I mean, because since everybody usually just exceeds nowadays.
And
So,
2500 defense. It'll offend you a turn or an attack.
It's kind of hard to run over sometimes. Anyway.
All right, let's go to the next card. Cyber Dragon. Cyber Dragon's a great card to spin for many formats. It's a great special summon, and it allows you to, if your opponent's running gadgets or Geargia or even Card Curry or any mix of those, you can then go into Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon and just use their monsters and gets 1,000 attack for each machine. So it's instantly 2,000 attack if you, let's say, use a Gigant X or one gadget. It just gets bigger, though. I love that card. Alright. Third card, we have DD Crow. DD Crow, during either player's turn, you can discard this card from your hand to target one card in the graveyard and in your opponent's graveyard and banish that target. It's good in decks like Dragons or anything that needs its graveyard. Dark Worlds, which kind of came back this format. There's like so many decks this format that it's very versatile, and you can use it against many decks. Dragon Rulers, Dark World are some of the few I can think of right now, but there's tons.
It's pretty good, like, if you don't want to, if, you just want to, splash it in really quickly. So, you don't have to play, Deep Fissure where you banish your creatures, too.
What? You don't have to depend on having it set. Like, if you maxi, you can draw into this card. That's what's great about it. Alright, next one. Well, one of my favorite, DD Warrior Lady. After damage calculation, when this card battles an opponent's monster, you can banish that monster, also banish this card. So my favorite play with this is you set it, and it's a 1,500 attack, 1,600 defense card. So you're not going to take any damage, but if it's like a dragon, what I love to do is just banish it, and it's like, they don't think it's like a Raikou or something, so it goes to the grave, whatever. They can then banish it and then bring out another dragon, but they can't. I think it's a great card for that one reason. There's so many decks like that. Ophion's. How's Opion going to stop that? I mean, it also has like a safe zone, but still. Alright, next card. Effect Failure. That's just a standard card, negates the effect. I mean, I put it in here because some people don't main it, and it's a great side card. But I main too. Alright.
I mean, I would main it sometimes, but I feel like it's better to use a maxi sometimes.
It depends on the deck and what you're trying to go for.
I suppose.
Alright. We have Electric Virus. You can discard this card to target one face-up machine or dragon-type monster your opponent controls. Take control of that target until the end phase. This is another card. It's another card you can just play from the hand. I love cards that are like this, because Maxi allows you to draw into them, and I main 2 Maxi. I think Maxi's a great card to main, but also side. I mean, it's great against Geargias, any machine deck, or any dragon deck. And right
really
now, Dragon
Yeah.
Rulers is considered tier 1 this format, and you need to stop them, and this card stops them. Alright, this card, it actually just came out. Venting Fire Ferret. When this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Destroy that target, and if you inflict 500 damage. Why I like this card more than Snowman Eater now, and Snowman Eater and Raikou is, I mean, my deck doesn't benefit off milling really, but you also get to inflict the 500, and if it's let's say Solemn Warninged or Torrential, you still get its effect. It doesn't have to be flipped up. That's why I think it's so good about this card. Alright. Next card. We have Flying Sea. This is a card that actually just came out. When your opponent normal or special summons a monster, except during the damage step, you can special summon with this card from your hand to the opponent's side of the field in face-up defense position. The controller of this card cannot XYZ summon. so many decks this format just go off and just go all into all these XYZs. I
This is
think
really good.
what I love about this card is, let's say I was playing like a Mendolce deck the other day. I just did it to his side of the field. He couldn't tiramisu, and I ended up winning that game. I mean, it just stops them from going off. I mean, it's not good against synchro decks, obviously, and decks that tribute, but you don't bring it out against those decks. You side it in specifically for those XYZ only decks.
You could pretty much just side this in for like any deck, pretty much.
I mean, even like for the Evil Swarms, though they run the Veiler and they can sync for 5s, none of them are going to be running 4s. So, I mean, you're going to be fine. Alright. Alright, Injection Fairy Lily. I think this card's great. I think it's underrated. If this card attacks or is attacked during damage calculation either player's turn, you can pay 2k life points once per battle, and this card gains 3,000 attack during the damage calculation only. Alright, this is a great card because you can like normal summon it, use its effect, and attack into attacking the Ophion, use its effect, attack over Ophion, and with new Blue Eyes, they can attack over Blue Eyes. You can attack over anything basically. Like what gets over 34? Like what's 3,400 attack? This format, like nothing. Alright, here's another card. I mean, this card, Jowgen, the Spiritualist, you can discard one random card from your hand to the graveyard, destroy all special summon monsters on the field. Neither players can special summon. It's a great card, Jowgen, even just a normal summon and use its effect once, because it just destroys all of this. It can like blow up a whole field. And its effect is also really good because you can just stop them from special summoning. I mean, it's not great in all decks. Like, some side cards just don't work in all decks. Like, this card, you have to be able to protect it if you really want to use it effectively. And, I mean, with a lot of back row heavy decks this format, I think it's really good, this side.
I feel like it's a beefed up version of Vanity's Fiend.
I mean, they both have their pros and cons. Like, Vanity doesn't destroy currently. Like, Fossil Dyna. We'll get to that later, though. Alright. The next card is Kinetic Soldier. During damage calculation, if this card battles a warrior-type monster, this card gains 2,000 attack and defense during the damage calculation only. I know there's not many good warrior decks. Like, heroes, people are dead, that they've topped. Like, there's not many warrior decks that are, like, blowing out this format. I mean, but I will say is, if you're running into that problem at local, there's that one guy with 6 Sams that you can't figure out how to beat or something, it's a great side card. And what are they going to do? It's a 3350 attack card. Alright. I love this guy. King Tiger Wang Hu. It's on... When a monsters with... or monsters with 1400 or less attack as normal summon or special summon destroy those monsters with 1400 or less attack, this card must be face up on the field to activate and resolve this effect. It's a great card against like those gadgets. Anything with a slow attack cards in general. You can also slide that in the deck devastation. We'll get to that in, I think, another video. I think we're just going to do monsters this time. Alright. My next card is Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can target 2 monsters in the graveyard, banish those targets. Your opponent cannot banish cards from either player's graves. Alright. Dragons, there's Prophecy, there's so many decks this card's good against. And a nice 1800 attack, that's pretty solid this format. I mean... There is synchros, but everyone has answers this format, which I think is great. I love it, personally. But, I mean, what's to complain? You inflict some battle damage, banish their graveyard. What are they going to do? Alright. Next card is pretty standard. I don't want any hate for putting in, you put in all these, really... Isn't it quite obvious? I'm like, well, it is obvious, but, I mean, it's still a good side card. Max C. If you don't main them, side them. It's like, I feel like it's necessary in this format, because... This format's all about, like, whoever has, like, who's card advantage. Like, people have the Upstart Goblin theory, but, I mean, if you drop a Max C, they're going to seriously consider about going off, you know? Mm. Hey, guys, see you in the part 1 for our Monster Side deck video. I'll upload the next one tomorrow morning, alright? See you guys.